Let's go. Let's go, Mariners, baby. What a W tonight for this. I combined today and tonight. Did you hear that? For the Seattle Mariners. What a win. That one felt good. And the Mariners take the first two games of this series in Yankee Stadium. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome into the Seattle Mariners post-game recap. The Mariners defeat the New York Yankees tonight 6-3. They improved to 27-22 on the year. I believe that's the high watermark, 5 games over 500 so far. And they remain in first place in the AL West. And not only that, they gain a game, or they expand their lead because Texas lost to Philadelphia tonight. And as of right now, the Astros are losing to the Angels, so a lot of time left in that game. You know what my favorite part about that game tonight was? The Mariners looked like the better team. The Mariners looked like the better baseball team. I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying they're better than the Yankees. But the Mariners played a complete game. And it wasn't, listen, last night was amazing. And to win like that, to come back from down big in the ninth and then to kind of, see the Yankees fans go through that is always fun. And those wins are always memorable. It's the NFC Championship game against the Packers, right? Like that is so memorable. But the Super Bowl over Denver was great because Seattle just pummeled a Broncos team. Getting back to baseball here, my point is games like last night are amazing and they are so much fun. But it's great to see this team from start to finish look like the better baseball team and outplay a team that is a team that if you want to get to the World Series, you're probably going to have to play and beat. So it was really good to see a complete 9-inning win for the Seattle Mariners today. And, on this road trip or I should say the 7-game stretch, the road trip continues to Washington next with Baltimore and New York. You're now 3-2. You're 3-2 on this. I said coming into this series, if you can go to Yankee Stadium and get a split, I'll take it. Now, I want more. I want to win this series. But the worst case scenario now is you're walking out of here 3 games over 500. That's the worst case scenario. Go win the series. Go do it. Please do it. That would be amazing to win a series, a 4-game set in Yankee Stadium. Absolutely amazing. But even the worst case scenario, I can stomach. I can stomach leaving the Yankees and Orioles 7-game stretch 3-4. I can. I'm not trying to be like, I don't care. Trust me, I'm going to be on the edge of my seat tomorrow. But, the worst case scenario is still okay. Great win tonight for the ball club. Great win. Yes, the room's still not put together. I added some blankets back there for your viewing pleasure. Just top to bottom today. Offense, I thought, played a fantastic game. I thought they had some really good at-bats. Brian Wu was absolutely dialed in. That was like a Cy Young level performance from Brian Wu tonight. Spire and Thornton were not solid. I'll talk about that a little bit. Stanek was good. They gave 1 hit, and then Munoz was Munoz in the 9th inning. Just lights out. So just a great win. Just enjoy it. Guys, listen, we're going to talk about Trent Thornton, Gabe Spire a little bit in that 7th inning. But that stuff, they're probably going to, I agree. They need to acquire a reliever. I've been talking that up for a while, and I think people are starting to see why I've been talking about that. But this is a great win. And I'm not going to spend 30 minutes in this video debating about, should have gone to this guy in this situation or that guy in that. I'm enjoying a win. I am just going to sit back and enjoy a W. And sometimes it's okay to do that. Guys, it's okay to be happy when your team wins. I'm just reminding you guys. I'm not saying that to anybody in particular. I'm just saying, I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in these little things that happen that we miss it. Then we realize Mariners just went to Yankee Stadium, won 2 in a row. By the way, the Yankees have not lost 2 in a row at home this season until this series. The Yankees are playing great ball. Clark Schmidt has been a tremendous pitcher this year. The Yankees lineup, I will say this, the Yankees have a great lineup. They're second in baseball in WRC+. I do think Baltimore's lineup is better top to bottom. There's more balance. And I think someone in my comment section mentioned that last night. I should probably give credit. I don't remember who said it, but Baltimore's lineup 1 through 9 is just a little bit longer. The Yankees do have they're a little top heavy. Listen, I would love to be top heavy with Aaron Judge and Juan Soto in the lineup. I would have no problem with that. But I do think it's a little bit easier lineup to get through than Baltimore. Let's go through the box score, talk about some things, and I'll get out of here and just enjoy the W and enjoy it. Go watch the rest of baseball tonight. The Astros tied it, of course they did. Brian Wu, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no earned, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Shout out to Brian Woo's father in the stands. So cool to see him celebrating his kid. As a dad myself, I coached, not that you guys really care about this stuff, but I coached my oldest son's football team a couple years ago, and it is truly, people are not lying when they tell you it's more nerve-wracking as a parent than when you're on the field. It really is. I mean, not only was I trying to coach the team and help do things, I'm sitting there going, oh, please make a play. Please make a play. Come on, come on. But then realize, like, okay, I still got to coach the rest of the kids as well. It actually probably helped as a distraction. But, I think for anybody that's a parent that's had their kid play sports or for anybody that wants to be in the future, just know it is way more nerve-wracking when it's your kid out there and you can't help them. But great dad energy in the stands from him. And how good was Brian Woo? I talked about in the offseason, Brian Woo was kind of my guy that I thought was really going to put himself into that talking points with Castillo, Gilbert, and Kirby. Now, Bryce Miller's been fantastic too. I wasn't as high on Miller. And so far this year, he's really proving me incorrect. I didn't think Miller's going to be bad. I thought the other guys were above him. And I still kind of stand by that, honestly. That's not a knock on Miller. This rotation is loaded. There's tons of staffs where Bryce Miller would be your best pitcher easily. But Brian Woo is just, I mean, lights out, just pumping strikes today. 7 strikeouts, no walks, 77 pitches, 58 strikes, 58. His ERA goes down to 0.57. Like, obviously that's not going to hold up, but man has been getting Brian Woo back fantastic. Listen, Emerson Hancock held down the fort. He did what he needed to do for this team in his handful of starts until Woo was ready. But Emerson Hancock is not doing that to the Yankees lineup. He is not having that start. Not a knock on him, not a knock. But you can see why Brian Woo is the guy. He is the guy. There is no debate who should be in this rotation. What a start for Brian Woo. Just tremendous stuff. Obviously, they're trying to, I know there might be some debate. Woo's at 77 pitches, taking him out there. Hope you guys can't hear my dog barking in the background. Must be watching the Mariners replay. But he's just coming back from injury. Woo has already missed a lot of time with injury in his career. And listen, loved it. Love beating the Yankees here early. It's great. We're still at game 49. So you still have to be just a little careful and a little cautious. I have no problem with them taking out Brian Woo in that instance. And it was 4-0. You should be able to hold a 4-0 lead, even against this lineup going into the bottom of the 7th inning. Sorry, everybody, I had to pause the video for a second. The dog was not watching the Mariners game on replay, so I just had to make sure everything was okay. But yeah, going back to Woo with 77 pitches, no problem taking him out there. Like I said, 4-0 lead. You feel pretty comfortable there. And you've got to manage these guys for the long haul. Woo's coming off an injury. He's had injury history. I have no problem with him coming out in that instance there. Gilbert, Castillo, Kirby, yeah, I'm sending them back out for the 7th. Woo, I get taking him out there. Let's move on to the one part I'm not going to talk about too long because, again, I just want to enjoy this win. But Gabe Spire and Trent Thornton. No problem going to Gabe Spire there. Start 7th inning at all. Need to attack Aaron Judge there. Listen, I get it, right? Like, Aaron Judge can take you out of the ballpark at any moment. But it's 4-0. And don't nibble. Go after him. Like what I talked about with Munoz against Henderson on Saturday. And Munoz did the right thing. He went after him. Henderson got him. It happens. Now, a little bit different scenario. You weren't 1 out away from a victory. But I think you throw him a fastball there and see what you can do. Aaron Judge is tough to get out. He's a patient hitter. He's a power hitter. So I'm not going to bash Spire too much for walking Aaron Judge. But just seemed like an at-bat where he nibbled a little bit. And not just the last pitch. Not just the 3-2 pitch that walked him. But a couple pitches early in the at-bat. And I'd rather see him go after Judge. If Judge hits one out, tip your cap, let's move on. And I know it's weird, but just something about a walk is just, I said on Saturday, it's just more frustrating. Leadoff walks always seem to kill you. Listen, I know win probability-wise, the home run is probably far worse than the walk, but there's just something about walking that leadoff hitter that, getting base runners going. A home run, you can just say, hey, hit it out, let's move on, throw it away. A walk, now you got a base runner, you got to pay attention, just a bunch of things. He hits Rizzo. After getting Verdugo out. Did he strike out Verdugo? I think he did. Yeah, he struck out Verdugo. Listen, Rizzo crowds the plate like nobody's business. That there are times I'm like, I don't know if that should be a hit by pitch. I actually didn't see that, so I'm not sure where it hit him, so I shouldn't comment on that too much. I had to go grab something during that at-bat, but we know how much his hands are practically over the plate. but frustrating because I believe he had 2 strikes on Rizzo. And there's nothing more frustrating than like a 1-2 pitch hitting a guy. Because again, it goes back to like with Judge. The 3-2 pitch wasn't close. A couple pitches earlier weren't close. If you throw it in the zone, he hits it out, you can tip your cap. But you're giving free passes to guys that are already good enough. So Spire's been a little shaky his last few outings. He was good against Kansas City last week. But other than that, he's been a little off. It happens with relievers. Again, relievers work in such small samples that it's hard for them to turn it around real quick. A starter can have a bad inning, give up 2-3 earned runs, and bounce back. Logan Gilbert last night. I don't think Logan Gilbert was amazing, but he gives up the 2 runs in the first. He's got 5 innings to work past that. Gabe Spire doesn't get that as a reliever. So we're still judging Gabe Spire his last handful of appearances. We're probably talking about 3-4 innings of work here. But I will say Spire has gone from all-star level, looked like one of the best relievers in the game, to more just a solid kind of back-end guy that's there a little bit in his last few outings. Trent Thornton. So Trent Thornton kind of seems like a hot-button topic. And I'll just say it, like, I think Trent Thornton's fine. I think he's absolutely fine reliever. Remember, too, he gives up, and he got, who did he get out? I think he got Stanton out. He got Stanton to pop out, and then it was Torres hit the 3-run home run. I think that's actually the first home run Thornton's given up this year, and that was one of his bugaboos last year was the long ball. Trent Thornton's fine. He's a good relief pitcher. I could pull up his Savant page. It's very red. Now I get it. People go, oh, he gives up inherited runners. I agree. He does. He's not perfect by any means. I'm still not super confident with Trent Thornton coming in. I'm 100%. So I'm with everybody on that. I just think there's a middle ground. I mean, he's not trash. I'm sorry. He's not. He's not the best reliever in baseball. I don't mind going to Trent Thornton in that situation. Guys, this team is missing Matt Brash and Gregory Santos. That's a Matt Brash situation there. Stanton up, 2 on, 1 out with Stanton and Torres. That's Matt Brash any other game. You don't have it. Who else is down there? You got Stanek. Stanek pitched a great 8th inning, but Stanek's been a little shaky as well. Scott went to Spire to get through that inning. Spire's been shaky. And unless you want Andres Munoz to get 9-out saves, which, you know, maybe, hey, listen, maybe you do go to Munoz there, hope you add on, then you can go to someone else later. I don't think that's the worst idea ever either, if that's your thought on it. But this team's got to go out and get a reliever. And I think there are. I guarantee you Jerry's on the phones. It takes 2 to tango. So if anybody's frustrated they haven't made the move yet, both teams got to agree to it. Team's going to need another reliever. Hopefully they get Santos back as well. That would be a huge boost to the back end of the bullpen. But, you know, Trent Thornton is good. He's good. He's just not he's not your firefighter reliever, your firearm. You know what I mean? He's not that guy. He can't do the Matt Brash role. He's just not good enough. He's going to get out of him sometimes. He's got good stuff. He can strike guys out. Like, there's going to be times when Trent Thornton got out of it. He almost got out of it today. Like, he had 2 strikes on Torres. He almost got out of that and absolutely did what he had to do. Is 1 pitch away. Now he didn't. So, you know, that is what it is. But, you know, it's lost my train of thought there for a second. They need another guy. I've talked about Austin Adams. I think that's a perfect spot for an Austin Adams. Austin Adams' slider is like razor blades against right-handed hitters. I don't think he gives up a 3-run home run to Torres. I mean, any reliever can give up runs, but I think an Austin Adams would be great, and it pushes everybody back a little bit. Do I think Adams is your savior? No, Adams isn't perfect either. Otherwise, he wouldn't be on the scrap heap for a couple years as well. But if you can add Austin Adams, you can get Gregory Santos back. Then you've still got some other guys, and you feel pretty good with, like, hey, Ryan Stanek can come in the 6th inning in a game, or he can pitch when they're down by a run, or so can Trent Thornton. Then you've got these other guys for when they're ahead. And that's just kind of where I'm at. I don't think anybody in this bullpen, maybe outside of like Kirby Snead and Bizarro, the way he's pitched so far. And you guys know I like Bizarro. He hasn't pitched great. All the guys in the bullpen I think are good. But without Brash and Santos, you just don't have as many relief aces. We thought coming into this year, this team was going to have 3 just lights out weapons at the back end of their bullpen. And right now they have 1 lights out weapon and some guys that are good. That's my take on it. Agree to disagree if you do. Fine. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. This is a great victory, and relievers are pretty easy to acquire. So I'm just not going to be too up in arms about it. And I don't have a problem with Scott going to Trent Thornton. It's Thornton or Stanek there. Both have been iffy at times. You know, pick your poison. Spire's got to be better. Or, you know, or like I said, you go to Munoz and maybe can score more runs later. That's an option as well, I think. But I don't think there's a bad option there. You just need better arms. Stanek has a nice shutout 8th inning, gives up the hit to, I think, Volpe, but then gets Soto to ground out and gets Judge to fly out. Obviously had no chance to get in the park, but Julio looked like he lost that Judge fly ball for a split second. He kind of did like a little shimmy out there. I'm like, don't do it, Julio, with 2 outs. Everybody's running. So that might have been, that probably would have scored. Oh no, it was 5-3 at that point because Rayleigh had the home run, but probably would have been like Judge at second or third and the run scores. So nice job by Julio to get that under wraps. And then, I mean, again, Andres Munoz just absolutely lights out in the 9th inning. Yeah, he walked Torres. Verdugo did hit the ball pretty hard on the grounder to Dylan Moore, but again, kept on the ground. We talked about that with the Mariner hitters, right? Some good exit velos, but not elevated. That's what happened with Verdugo. Trevino just hit a little one that just went down the first baseline, kind of unlucky. And then he gets, who did he strike out at the end of the game? Cabrera, got Cabrera to strike out. Munoz dominant, probably down for tomorrow. But, good to get this win. Because, again, I don't think the next 2 are gravy. I don't want to say I don't care what happens. I absolutely care. But I could stomach a loss tomorrow. Like, it's not going to kill me if they lose tomorrow's game and then Munoz is available for Thursday. Maybe you win series. Or maybe just blow them out tomorrow. Don't worry about it. That would be great, right? But Munoz just lights out. Get that man to the All-Star game. Let's look at the lineup. I thought the Mariners actually did really well against Clark Schmidt. It is Clark, right? Yep, Clark Schmidt. I don't know why I thought it was a different first name. Clark Schmidt just didn't sound right. When you say, do you guys ever done that? You say a name, it's like, it doesn't roll off the tongue right, but it is. Listen, 5 innings for Schmidt, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks. That's a fine starting pitching line. But the Mariners put some base runners on. They worked his pitch count up. They got into the Yankees bullpen that did not have Clay Holmes available tonight, and they took advantage of it. They score 4 runs off the Yankees bullpen. Not all offensive showings are created equal. There's times I've seen the team score 2 runs, like they get a bloop and a blast, and then they do nothing else. And those are frustrating. Listen, do I think they could have had a couple more runs off Schmidt? Yeah, I thought there were some opportunities out there to get a run or 2 more, but they chased him after 5, and that was a legitimate good effort chasing. That wasn't just the Mariners striking out every at-bat and forcing the starting pitcher to throw a lot of pitches. They spit on some good pitches, they got some base runners, and they got him out of the game, and they got a couple runs off of him. Again, yeah, I think they could have had 1 or 2 more, but I thought the offense did pretty well against Schmidt, especially with what we've seen. What we saw yesterday against Stroman, who frankly is worse than Schmidt. Tonight was much, much better. And then, like I said, they get 4 runs off the Yankees bullpen as well in this game. J.P. Crawford was 1 for 5, did strike out twice, only 2 walks, 11 strikeouts from there. It's not a lot of walks, but they did get 10 hits and a few home runs as well. We'll talk about those. Good to see J.P. back in the hit column. Timing's probably going to take a few games to get back to it. Honestly, wouldn't even mind JP getting a day off tomorrow against the lefty and Cortez and letting Dylan Moore play shortstop again, to be perfectly honest. Maybe you can get Polanco back. It's weird with Polanco. I honestly wonder if Polanco just didn't play today because of how well Dylan Moore swing the bat. We'll talk about Demo. But tomorrow, you're at the point now with Polanco where he's going to miss 10 days, and he has not had an at-bat. So very, very odd. I mean, you could IL Polanco tomorrow and literally activate him the next day. So very odd that they've played a man short. I get it. They didn't know. They want to get Polanco back in there. They're out without JP. So I get it. But I think you reached a point where you should have just IL'd him. And now you're probably past the point where it's well, if he's going to be back in a couple days, just keep him active. But very odd. But good to see JP check with a hit. Julio 0 for 4, did have a walk. It was a nice walk. I enjoyed it. Julio's got to be better, but this was too fun of a game for me to get negative on anybody. Luke Raley 1 for 5 with the solo home run and the solo home run against a lefty. Let's see Luke Raley get some at-bats against lefties. Talk about with Rojas. Let's see Luke Raley in there against a lefty. Cortez is on the mound tomorrow. I don't know what Cortez's splits are versus lefties and righties, and I'm just not going to pull it up right now, but let's see Big Thunder in the lineup tomorrow. Raley's OPS on the year up to 808. For a guy that in the first couple weeks, he wasn't getting consistent playing time, but he had some rough at-bats. And, now all of a sudden Luke Raley is looking like a core player. He's playing like an all-star, honestly. And you've got him up hitting 3rd, 4th in this lineup. And he's been a saving grace. Him and Dylan Moore really have in the last few weeks. They have really helped carry this offense. So good to see for Luke Raley. Tough game for Cal. 0 for 3. Did reach on a hit by pitch. I think the Yankees were trying to kill Cal Raleigh today. They hit him with a pitch. Then he almost trips over the equipment they left there. I know guys leave that stuff there, but just super dangerous. Cal could have tripped on that, gotten hurt. And I mean, I want to know where this team would be without Cal Raleigh. So wouldn't be shocked also. I might give Cal tomorrow off. Got a lefty on the hilt. Now, Cal's hit great right-handed this year. He has. But I think it's a decent idea to get Cal day off. You've won the first 2 games. Not trying to say that tomorrow doesn't matter. Be very clear on that. It does. Win it. But I don't think it's a bad time to give Cal Raleigh a day off, especially with getting hit, almost tripping and breaking his neck out there. Give Cal a day off tomorrow. And Zaval gets some at-bats against the lefty, which may be good for him. Dominic Canzone was 0 for 2 with a walk. Mitch Haniger 0 for 1 with a pinch hit. Ty France 2 for 4 with a solo home run, a big home run. 2-0. You don't feel safe against the Yankees because that's a Soto hit and a Judge home run away from a tie right there. So good to see that from Ty France. It's been kind of a weird year for Ty because in April, I was talking about his Savant page. It was red, right? Like, I'm like, give Ty, let's be patient with Ty. The batted ball profile looks pretty good. And then you look at the bad ball profile and it started to go south, but Ty's actually started hitting better. He swung the bat much better the last few weeks. I don't have the data up. I'm not going to pull it up, but I'd imagine in the last 2-3 weeks, his WRC plus has been like 110, 115. I could be dead wrong on that. It's just what it feels like. The power's come back a little bit. He's now up to 5 home runs. He didn't have any for the first month or so, and I think he's had 5 in May, or at least from late April into late May here. Ty's been contributing. He's absolutely been contributing. So good to see from Ty France. And again, like, if you can get Ty going and, especially against like left-handed pitching. Now today was the home run off a lefty or righty? Who did he hit the home run off of? I think he hit off Santana righty. But like tomorrow, you got a lefty on the mound. Absolutely need Ty France in that lineup. So, and good to see Ty kind of moving down in the order as well. I think that's helping a little bit too. I think it takes a little bit of the pressure off. So listen, if you can get Ty France going, it's going to open up a lot more too. And it's going to help you make some decisions at the trade deadline. I would love nothing more than Ty France to get hot and to be fine at first base and to maybe, Rayleigh get some at-bats against righties, work Ty in there as well. Would love that. That would be great for the team. So nice day for Ty France. Mitch Garver 2 for 4, had a base hit and had the double off the wall that just missed a home run. Good to see. Good to see these guys. Like, they need Garver. They need France to get going. And they're starting to. Now, every time these guys, we talk about with Julio, every time these guys kind of start to get going, they seem to just take a step back. Let's keep taking that step forward. Luke Rayleigh's taking the step forward. Dylan Moore has been on a tear. But some of these other guys, like I said, like France and Garver, great games. Let's keep it going for both of them. Come on, guys. Like, they're both better hitters than this. So hopefully this is a start for Mitch getting hot as well. Josh Rojas, 1 for 4, did have the double that scored on the Dylan Moore home run. And then Dylan Moore, 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, 4 RBIs, 2 home runs, OPS up to 854. I'm dead serious. Dylan Moore to the All-Star game? I mean, I don't have all the data for all the teams in the American League, but man, where would this team be without Dylan Moore? I'm joking, but like, I wonder if Polanco was good to go and they went with Demo tonight. Demo needs to be in there. He needs to be in the lineup, even when you get everybody back. Now, I'm not saying like every game, everybody's going to get days off, but man, like, use Dylan Moore, get guys days off, give Dylan Moore, like tomorrow, let's say Polanco's back, give JP the day off, let him kind of ease back into it, put Demo at short. The next day, give Mitch Haniger had the day off today a little bit, but give Haniger some days off. Let Dylan Moore play the outfield. The third base, you've got the platoon there, but you have Demo as an option there. Demo can even play some first base if you need him to. So, I mean, you've got to find a way to keep getting Dylan Moore's bat in the lineup. Like, I don't expect him necessarily holding 854 OPS all season, but Dylan Moore is good. Last year, he just battled injuries, missed kind of the first half of the year. I just think never really got the timing down. But Dylan Moore is a really, really valuable player to this team. And his bat is so hot right now, you've got to find a way to keep him in this lineup. What a game for Dylan Moore. 6 home runs on the year for Demo. Is that second on the team? Because I think Cal's leading. Demo's got to be second because JP has, I think, 2. Julio's got 2. Luke Rayleigh hit his 4th. Cal's obviously in front. I think Canzone has 3 or 4. Mitch has 5 or 6. Ty's got 5. Garver, I think, has 5. Rojas has 2. I think Dylan Moore is second on this team in home runs. Absolutely remarkable season. Get Dylan Moore to the All-Star game. Dylan Moore and Andres Munoz and Luke Raley. Let's get him in there. I don't know. Like, I don't know if Dylan Moore's not going to be on the ballot, unfortunately. So it's going to hurt him. Do they still do that? Is that still the way to do the All-Star game? I've actually never in my life voted for an All-Star game. I'll be honest. I like it for the players, but I really don't care. Like, Dylan Moore's numbers are Dylan Moore's numbers. Him being an All-Star doesn't change that from my perspective. It would be great for Dylan, obviously. But for me, I've never cared much outside just being happy for a guy getting in. Great win tonight. What a win. What a win to go. I know I keep saying that, but to go into Yankee Stadium, win the first two, and like I said, listen, the Saturday win against Baltimore was great, but you had to battle back late and get the win. Yesterday was so much fun, but it was 8 tough innings to sit through before they get the win. Tonight was a complete victory. That's what we've wanted to see, a complete victory for this team against the big boys. Texas loses. Houston is tied, going to the bottom of the ninth. Hopefully the Angels pull that one out. I think the Mariners are 3 games up in first place. And don't let anybody tell you that doesn't matter. What was our frustration last year? What was one of our biggest frustrations last year? That this team got off to kind of a cold start, was hovering around 500, a little bit below. Yes, they took first place over in September. So listen, I'm not saying like a slow start guarantees you can't get in, but had they won a few more in April and May, they might have been able to survive that September. Texas is a perfect example last year, guys. Texas got off to a hot start, hotter than the Mariners this year, but they had a summer swoon a little bit, or fall to swoon's the bat, right? Yeah, whatever. And, they dropped off, but they'd kind of banked in enough wins that they were able to just get on one more hot streak and put themselves into the postseason. It absolutely matters. I guarantee you, we'll check it tomorrow, the Fangraphs odds, I guarantee the Mariners are fairly substantial favorites to win the AL West. I can almost guarantee it. A 3-game lead matters. It does. I'm not saying that can't go away. It can be gone in 3 days. But it does matter to get these wins now. And the schedule, last thing I'll say, I'll get out of here. A lot of you guys pointed out in the comments last night. I made the point too. The schedule has been tough. They have played 2 teams, Colorado and Oakland, that had no playoff aspirations this year. I know Cincinnati's scuffling and stuff, but every other team they've played came into this year thinking they were going to be a playoff team, or at least be in the hunt for a playoff spot. Every other team through 49 games. And it's going to be that case through 51 games. So 6 games against teams, Oakland and Colorado. And if you want to throw Cincinnati and they're fine, they swept Cincinnati. So whatever. Like, if you want to throw them in there. The schedule's going to open up a little bit for these guys. They're 27-22. They have not played the Angels yet. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. I'm not saying they're guaranteed to beat the Angels. They've only played 3 against Oakland. They haven't gotten Texas or Houston to come to Seattle. They haven't played the White Sox. They haven't played they played the Blue Jays too. Blue Jays have been scuffling, but that's a team that came with playoff hopes. The Rays have been okay, but their run differential is like -40. I mean, they haven't played, I don't know, well, Miami yet. They'll play Miami because you play every team now. St. Louis isn't very good, which always seems weird to say. Who else am I missing there? They played Colorado. But you know my point. You guys get what I'm saying. So have a great night, everybody. Enjoy this victory. I'm telling you, just enjoy it. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to enjoy wins. It is, I promise. Mariners win. They improved 27-22. Give the Yankees their first back-to-back home losses of the year. Remember to drop a like, comment. Did I plug the channel in this video? I don't think I did. Like, comment, and hit that sub button, guys. Have a great night. Go Mariners. Peace.